Alright there, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing a double deck today. Double, that means two. We're doing Red Black Dragons. There is a Red Black Dragons video up with deck list and gameplay. It does very well, actually, or it did do very well. Changed the list a little bit. You can check that out. That's pretty good. However, I'm tweaking this as I go along because it's combining two of my kind of favorite decks that I've played previously, which is a big red deck and Tom Ross's Red Black Dragons list from back when Dragons of Tarkir and stuff were out. That was a great deck. Yeah, had what was it, Dragon Lord Culligan in it? No, Culligan Storm's Fury. Sorry, she was crazy, crazy good. So building this list. I've got two ways to build it. There's more. There's so many more ways to build this. Basically, our game plan in this deck is to control the board early game with removal. So any creature decks kind of suffer. We've got 2 shocks, 2 cast down, 4 lava coils, 4 lightning strikes, 2 Angrath's Rampage. Because there are those pesky planeswalker decks that game 1. I say pesky planeswalker decks. Look at this. That we might need a bit of dealing with, or sometimes if someone's cast something with hexproof, we can't get it, but Angrath's Rampage can. Then we've got 1 Banefire. Sometimes there's a little finisher if there's a bit of a stalemate, especially against control. That's in the main board instead of the sideboard because it's Sarkhan on the artwork. He is the fiery dragony planeswalker. He would be me if I was a planeswalker. We don't look very similar, but I love dragons, so it's all good. And onto our 3-drops when we really start to 10-3s when we really start to get some action. We've got 4 Goblin Chainwhirlers. It's a good card. Obviously, first strike. People think twice about attacking. You can just sit there and defend, or attack. 3 damage a turn isn't insignificant. Plus, it will wipe the board from tokens. Chainwhirl into a shock into shocking something into a Chainwhirl is pretty good, or vice versa. Sarkhan Fireblood does a lot of legwork. I want to find room for more of him. It's just that discard draw ability, especially if we're flooding out or if we're against like control lava coils dead in hand usually, or just let's just siphon for what we're looking for a bit more, which is good. And that's the same with Chandra. There's only 3 of her though, because I wanted to sort of. Initially I had 4 Rekindling Phoenixes in the deck. Go check that video out. Check it out. Do it, please. So there's 3 Chandra. Again, worst case scenario, she just lets us look at the top card of our library. Maybe play it from a land drop, which is great. Essentially, she's 2 card draw a turn. That's pretty much what she is. Which is good if we're missing land. It's also good if we've got both of these out. We've got a land in hand. We can tick up Chandra. If it's land, play the land. Then we can use Sarkhan's ability to discard the land that's in our hand to then draw a card, which is great. We've got 3 Rekindling Phoenixes just for the recursion, the extra threat. Rekindling Phoenix itself needs to be dealt with, and then the token it creates needs to be dealt with. So that's good. And then onto sort of bigger drops on the win cons is the 4 Skagan Hellkites can either come down as a 5/5, enabling us to do 2 damage with its ability, which is irrelevant really, unless really desperate, or more often than not I'll just dash it in with flying, riot in with haste, swing for 4, especially with Sarkhan the Merciless already down. It stops weenie creatures attacking us basically, because whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, each dragon you control does 1 damage to that creature. So if we got Skagan Hellkite out, they'll think twice. And also his +1 can turn all of our planeswalkers into dragons and swing, which is awesome. They're still planeswalkers as well as dragons. which is so cool. And he can also make dragons, so if we've got some way to protect him on the board, like maybe like a Chain Whirler or a Phoenix or something, or removal in hand for creatures, I would probably play him, tick him down to -3 to make a dragon. So the next turn, tick him up to become a dragon and swing with 2 dragons. He's a very, very good card. I have my play set already of both of these and of Ugin. Just because I'm building big red or red-black dragons or something for this week's F&M. It's now Wednesday. I've got most of everything I need for both. And then on the 6-drop slot, which is a lot, is Ugin. But Ugin does good work. Again, it's more card advantage. This deck, you wouldn't think red-black would have so much card advantage. Card advantage, card advantage, card advantage. It's all good. Plus he's an extra planeswalker to turn into a dragon, and he can blow stuff up that's in the way. He gives us tokens and things. Lands are quite simple. It's 25? This is 15, 19, 23 to 45. Yeah, so 2+ lane. Very good. 4 Dragon Scar Summit, 4 Blood Crypt, 11 Mountains, and 4 Swamps. Tempted to cut a Blast Zone for a Mountain, just because for some reason there's been a couple of instances where I've been on turn 3 and needed that 3rd red mana and haven't drawn into it. But with 19 red sources of mana, that shouldn't be a problem. I don't quite know the maths behind it. Someone who knows the maths, let me know, because I would have thought that would have been more than enough. Onto the sideboard. It's very control-hatey, a lot of it. So 4 Duress with 2 Sorcerous Spyglass. Could put 3 in. Initially had 3 in, but I want 2 Challenger's Triumph because we can get rid of Planeswalkers quite happily with Challenger's Triumph. Especially with the if we have a Chandra out, it's 5 damage to a Planeswalker. Or creature, but mostly Planeswalker. Is what that's there for. As our creatures are, about 4 power, deal with most threats. Then we've got 2 Cry of the Carnarium, because sometimes decks go a bit too wide for us, so we need that -2/-2 to exile. It also deals with Phoenixes, the Arc-like Phoenix, because it's only got 2 toughness, so it'll get exiled. Yeah, that's why that's there, along with 2 Ritual of Soot for the mono-white matchup. Not that I've seen much mono-white recently, because a lot of the time their creatures will suddenly become have bigger than 2 toughness, so Ritual of Soot deals with that. Otherwise that would probably be 4 Cry of the Carnarium. We've got 2 Tibalt to stop life gain because that's a poop. Also he can make us 2 little devils for blockers. He can protect himself, and when they die they deal damage, so that's pretty good. And then we've got 1 Siege Gang Commander where it is necessary to maybe go a bit wide, which has been in one instance, one match I play tested yesterday, which was necessary because as I was going to say, mono green, we managed to have plenty of removal in hand to get rid of like their Llanowar elves and their the other elf, all the elves that ramped them, got rid of all their elves, but then they started to basically play bigger creatures that we couldn't get past with our Chain Whirler. We didn't have Phoenixes down. We were running, basically we drew all removal and Chain Whirlers, so game 1, but we did win with Chandra and Sarkhan out eventually, but I thought, okay, let's go wide. And that worked. That's irrelevant. That's not up anyway. So that's deck number 1. And then we've got build number 2. And this one is more creature focused. Again, we've still got this removal package: Lightning Strikes, Lava Coils, Cast Down, and Shocks. I like the split between 2 Shock and 2 Cast Down, because there's a lot that Shock doesn't deal with. And then we don't have Angrass Rampage, but we do have 4 Dreadhorde Butcher, because early pressure is good. He gets bigger, and as long as he can get at least 1 damage in on a player or a planeswalker, he's Shock on a stick. So That's very good. Or with Judith down, shock on a stick. And it kind of occurred to me, I was like, why am I not playing an earlier threat? I've got all the removal in the world, but against control, a lot of this is irrelevant. So that earlier threat where he gets bigger and bigger and bigger means they have to deal with him, which clears the way for other things later in the game. We then have 2 Judith, because we're going more creatures focus, so she makes other creatures bigger. When non-creature taker dies, deals 1 damage. So it's kind of a bit more of a Bernie kind of effect, but we do only have... The non-creatures are only Dread Horde. We've gone down to 2 Rekindling Phoenixes and 2 Hellkites. And we're going Goblin Gathering, we're going kind of wider with this strategy, because the Judith down there, 2 1s, which is good. And then we still got 2 Sarkhan Fireblood. I do want to find room for more. It just seems like I don't know. I'm not sure he's good enough for 2 more, but 2, definitely 2 of. Again, the 3 Chandra, 3 Sarkhan, that's never going to change anything. We've got rid of Ugin as well, make space for this. So it's kind of a slightly lower curve. But there he is, he's in the sideboard, because he's very relevant, and I think his price is going to go up. Especially with the next set, we'll see what happens. If there's anything, if there's much colourless stuff, he's going up. So again, sideboard pretty simple: 4 Duress and 2 Sorcerer Spyglass against the control matchups. Cry Carnarium against the sort of weenie deck matchups. We didn't put in Ritual of Soot because we've got our creatures that can hopefully trade off against theirs, because we're not bothered if our creatures die, because we're playing for late game win. 2 Goblin Chainwhirler, because sometimes that's also relevant. Deals with Llanowar Elves and things. Also, First Strike's very, very important. I think he'd come in against creature decks. I'd probably take out 2 of the Goblin Gathering and put in 2 Chainwhirlers, depending on the situation. 2 Tibalt to stop life gain, because life gain is a dick. I've said that. I have made an Angel life gain deck. Pretty much, that's already out there. It's got a good number of views, and it was one of my favourite decks to play for a while. I've got 1 Siege Gang Commander to go even wider, 1 Ugin to come in for the card advantage, and also to sort of deal with permanence. There's a great little play in the video that's up that it was against Phoenix deck. We won. Spoiler alert. It looked like they would win. They killed something of ours, and they played a Niv Mizzet. And obviously you think, Niv Mizzet's down. I can't get past Niv Mizzet with Chainwhirler. But I had baited out like removal and stuff. Because I had Ugin in hand. I was like, I don't want Ugin to get countered. So I baited out other stuff. So he... obviously I guess he thought I played my main threats down. He'd countered or something, and then next turn he played Niv, and then I played Ugin, blew up his Niv, and then he scooped. And then one Banefire again against control. That's that. This is the deck text. What I'm going to do is do the deck text, and then we'll do gameplay of each of these individually, because it's 2 decks to go through. So I thought I'd just do the deck tech videos. Oh, sorry, mana base is exactly the same. I'm wondering, however, without Chainwhirler, whether we could go down to 10 mountains and 5 swamps just for guaranteed the Dreadhold Butcher. But we'll do a little bit of play testing, see how that goes. There's so many ways you could build this. Like, I think initially I may have had not initially. At one point I had Tibalt main board, just because it's an extra Planeswalker for Sarkhan. And even if you've got a Planeswalker down and you play Sarkhan and tick up, he can't attack because he has summoning sickness, but the other Planeswalkers can attack, so there is that to be aware of. I'm very happy with this build. I feel like it does very well against creature decks. Or at least I haven't tested this build, but the Red Black Dragons deck does very well against creature decks. Control, I had luck against control as well. I beat them, but again, sideboard quite focused around control. It's even tempting to go up to the 3 Sorcerer Spyglass and maybe take out, I don't know, a Tybalt or something. Not sure. It's about playtesting, isn't it? Unless it's, unless it's one of the decks like Esper Control or Mono Red that's set in stone as like the best decks in Standard, then it's difficult to sort of know what's going to work and what's not. But that's this. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. If you've got any suggestions, let me know. There'll be more Redback Dragons. There'll be small big red because these are just favourite archetypes of mine. There's bound to be some more black stuff in there to make this more red-black, because it's basically mostly red, little splashing black, but it is what it is. I'm looking at this Banehound right now. 1 drop, lifelink haste. That's pretty good. I like that. I haven't seen it see play anywhere, but I think lifelink and haste on a 1 drop. I've seen worse 1 drops, to be fair. Yeah. Anyway, that's that done. As always, finish by opening a. Oh, 3 boosters. I finished by opening a booster. And as I previously said, at some point we're going to be doing videos where we start by opening a booster, and then whatever this is, we build a deck around it. Not in this case, because this is our closing one. So we've got Tamiyo, but if this was the start of the video, we'd be building a deck focused around Tamiyo. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed it, check out some other content. Feel free to like and subscribe. It really does help. People underappreciate just how much just clicking the little button can do for some people. Not my ego. That's big enough as it is. Just the support helps people grow. I do it all the time. I think it's important. Anyway, peace.